All right. So look. So we say all that. Shout out to those just pulling up. We say all that to provide some context as to why you might say, well, look, we didn't talk about Ahsoka when it first came out. We didn't talk about, the last episode of Secret Invasion. We didn't talk about a lot of stuff. And that was intentional. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep it real. I can't hold it anymore. I can't hold it anymore. When I saw Ahsoka this week, bro, I was like, last week. And then this week, bro, I was like, oh my God, like there's no way in the world I cannot talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is not to be considered what is to be expected going forward. But I figured today we take a brief pause on our attempt to be insightful and be considerate towards our strikers, and just take this moment of brevity and freedom of speech to speak about what the fuck we want to, and just let those writers such as Dave Filoni and those that did it take place, let them know we appreciate you, we stand by you. We're not going to take any paid work, but we got to at least give our thoughts, and some of it may not be positive, so I don't consider it promotion necessarily.
As of today, I don't fuck with no strikers just for today, right in this moment. I don't fuck with William Stryker from X-Men.
God damn it.
I don't fuck with Stryker from Mortal Kombat. I don't fuck with anybody who plays striking games. Nah, I don't fuck with Ty, whose hair is striking today. I don't fuck with none of it. It's all bad to me.
Yo, I wouldn't subscribe to that, but as a FAMU guy, there was a group called Strikers that I used to be a part of, so I'm not going to support that. However, I will say we'd be remiss if we weren't who we were. Now, Tiffy, I don't want you to be, put in any category. So if this is going to have any issues towards you, by all means, feel free to play the background right now. Or for anybody on the panel that doesn't want to have any issues with shenanigans or confusion with regard to any topics. So I won't be offended. And please.
If you could, for sure. If you can move me to the back, not so much because of the strike, but also because I haven't seen it. I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing to contribute to this conversation.
Okay. Well, if you don't go too far, because one of the other things that's on this docket is I did get caught up completely on your boy Aang, as I'm now talking about him. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's another project that is a direct descendant of an anime project, which ties into that. So don't go too far into your steam room.
I won't. Put me in the back. I'll still be listening, and I'll come back when Ahsoka's over.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much. Tiffy Starchild, everybody. She's going to be with us in the background for a little bit, just watching and monitoring and making sure Kev says stupid shit that she can retract as soon as she comes back.
Tiffy's gone now? All right, yeah. So let me tell you how I really feel.
Nah. He's so stupid. He's so dumb. So, now, Ahsoka is now on episode 3. All right. I'm going to take this down, and I'm assuming, first of all, that we've all seen it. Are we all caught up?
Nope. I support. I stand with the strike support. So I haven't watched it at all.
I cannot.
This is a persona that I'm giving on. I'm just playing devil's advocate. So, but I really support. I don't play that shit. And
go ahead.
And Rosario Dawson, she ain't for me.
Oh, okay. There's thoughts there. I'd like to delve into that before we do that. For the three of us that did see it, I'm going to take this down. I want you to give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, meh, in between. If you're liking it, thumbs up. If you're not, thumbs down, meh, no feelings whatsoever. In 3, 2, 1, and yeah. Okay, that's a half thumb. All right, we got one thumb. We got two thumbs into the half thumb.
Flaccid thumb.
Yeah, oh, wow. Yeah, not the thumb. Now, man, we need to go, bro. Can we arouse that thumb a little bit?
Just give it a little rub.
Before you get into a synopsis.
A little rub.
Suck that. Let me stop. So, Ty, you're lukewarm on it. Before you shit on it, let's hear what Nolly has to say. Nolly, what say you about what we've seen thus far with Ahsoka? And just for the record, I have not put a bunch of slides up here with Ahsoka, so we're not going to see much. Go ahead.
I just want to say that I appreciate that you're making it a sandwich of a thumbs up, the flaccid thumb, and then thumbs up. Like we gonna soften the blow for when Ty shits on it.
That's what I'm trying to do.
She got the Ahsoka shirt on.
I also did my makeup.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
Pull on up.
I love it.
I was also trying not to look dead because COVID.
Yeah. By the way, for those of y'all who didn't know, Stay away from your screen when Nolly talks because she got COVID. Anyway, go ahead.
I got a Jamaican joke before you do that. What's a Jamaican's favorite Star Wars music?
I don't know.
Ahsoka.
All right.
Out. Get out.
I don't know if we're gonna be we just lost Kev somehow. God.
I just thought of that. I don't know. I
can't defend you no more. When Tiffany comes back, I want her to go full in on your ass.
I thought it was very funny. I'm sorry.
For a living, and that's you stopped.
Nolly, go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
It's hilariously stupid. Go ahead.
I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's got lots of little Easter eggs. I got real excited when we saw Purgles because we haven't seen them in forever. They alluded to them in like Mandalorian, but we didn't actually see it. We just saw shadows. So I was like, this is dope. Everything is so connected. Also, Mon Mothma, how old are you?
Right. She's a vampire, right?
I sat up. I said, babe, ain't no way a Caucasian woman aging that gracefully. Like, how old is she?
Well, I mean,
I have questions. I tried to do the timeline, but I'm too sick. So I was like, we gonna figure this out because how old is Mon Mothma?
Well, I think that go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
I just want to know what her skincare routine is like. I'm just trying to get
those
ready.
Y'all don't know, Mon Mothma has been down with Star Wars since like Return of the Jedi. Like, I mean, not Return of the Jedi, since Star Wars, the original Star Wars, when Luke shot through the little through the little 2-meter hole that he had to. Sounds weird when I say it like that, but when he blew up the Death Star, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Warp Rat. So yeah, she looks almost the same age. She looks like the same actor. It's not even the same actor, but she looks almost exactly the same age.
It is not the same. The original Star Wars.
Not from,
not from the original. All the series and the recent movies.
From Andor.
Yeah,
it's the same one from Andor.
Or from Andor, yeah, from Andor, and that's interesting that they tied these two in because Andor is from before the rebellion, before the Empire, before the New Republic, and she still looks like a black. She's got black woman genes. You know what I'm saying?
And my man was like, "Well, they're not really humans," and I was like, "There are humans in Star Wars, like, so they have to age." Am I crazy?
Well, nah, I mean, apparently these droids that they have in the New Republic are new age droids. They did repair a fucking lightsaber wound. I was like, pissed. First episode, I was pissed. I was like, don't tell me they just up and killed my bitch like this. No, but Nolly, I was like, yo, is this what we're doing with the lightsabers? So lightsabers don't mean shit no more. Last time I checked, if you got ran through with a lightsaber, that was it. It's over. What?
Well,
I have questions. Does it cauterize the wound as it goes through? Like, these are the things I think about. Like, does it cauterize the wound so you don't bleed out?
Okay, look, let's do this. First of all, shout out to our Star Wars guru in the chat, Daniel. I see you, Mr. Biddle, and thank you for being here and being ready. Stay right there because we're going to fire off a bunch of questions directly at you, Pimpin', because you're the one that got the answers. But yes, it's real that Star Wars has been very inconsistent with regard to what a lightsaber does to you when it hits you. Now, the very first time we saw a lightsaber touch somebody, it disappeared that motherfucker. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi. He did not have a wound. He did not get cut in half. This nigga ceased to exist. He went directly into Force Ghost mode. And like, that didn't happen. That's happened to nobody else. Nobody else. Then Qui-Gon gets hit with just real quick and dies forever. Meanwhile, fucking Sabine Wren, goddammit, who else? The Inquisitor, Reva, everybody's getting stabbed in the gut with the lightsaber and they're talking about it the next day. What the fuck? Daniel, yo, come on, man. What is like literally going on? So we're trying to like really figure out like how is it that you what is it the impact? Does it have to do with you having the force? Is that what it is? Like if you have the force, is there a difference in how it impacts you? And if that's the case, that doesn't appear to be anything that benefited Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon should be with us. And why it took so long for Qui-Gon to get
Jedi's health insurance got better over the years. They started getting force healing. Qui-Gon didn't have that in his original plan. That nigga had limited Medicare, so he had to get gone.
He didn't have insurance. He had in case shit.
Yeah, exactly. But force healing became a thing in like episode 7 or some shit like that. That as time went on.
Okay, Daniel said. Okay, Daniel put this on screen. He says it's about location. Just like people can take, but okay. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Reva, Qui-Gon, and Sabine all got stabbed in the same exact place. You know what I'm saying? And Sabine doesn't know how to use the Force yet. Mm-hmm. All right. The Inquisitors aren't Force wielders. You know what I'm saying? They're handy with the Jedi. I mean, with the lightsabers, but they're not necessarily all. Some of them, but not all of them Force wielders. So I don't know, man. It's weird. Yeah, Reva has the Force, so I can give her a little bit more benefit of the doubt. And she also, other than unlike Qui-Gon, I feel like she had a little bit more. She kind of expected to have some injuries in that battle. Where Qui-Gon, I think him going in with Obi-Wan probably wasn't expected. But in addition to that, Daniel, fucking Darth Maul was cut in half, dude. Was cut in half. And he still ended up walking around half the Clone Wars. You know what I'm saying? So the lightsabers themselves.
He got cut from a good place. Sometimes you could live if you get cut in the torso in the right area.
We know Maul didn't die. Exactly. So, but why is I think all the memes that I've seen that are looking that have Qui-Gon looking like, oh, this is some bullshit, I believe are justified because it's like, goddamn, they should have at least sliced his head off, if anything. But I'll digress. One of the things that I think I've loved watching this Ahsoka series is seeing how they've masterfully adopted the Rebels show, and it's just basically Rebels season 5, as far as I'm considered. You know what I'm saying? It's the next season of Rebels is just led by Ahsoka. The only problem is, in my opinion, I'm going to go ahead and kind of lean into Kev's opinion on this real quick, is that Ahsoka herself hasn't been doing it for me. Now, don't get me wrong. Her lightsabers are still dope as hell. Her movements, great. The way she looks, awesome. But snubs, you know what I'm saying? Or snips, excuse me. The little snips that used to be the Anakin apprentice. Like, there's no personality. She's completely left the side of her that was fun-loving, that was
Can I say something about that? Like, okay. At the end of the day, I love when these big A-list actors take on a role that is iconic, and Ahsoka is just like a fan favorite. But sometimes I think that these actors are too big to play these iconic characters because they have too much of themselves, and they don't really give credence to what the character is like in the book, in the show, in the comic book, and it makes it hard for me to get into the character of it all. When I'm like, I know that's Rosario Dawson. Like, that's not Ahsoka Tano to me. Like, I'd rather them get like a no-name actor, and I'm like, oh, this is somebody who I could really believe, and they can really just be whimsical and fun. But the Rosario thing, I think she's a great actress. She's fantastic, but I can't follow her as Ahsoka.
Yo, you're tapping into something. Does he have a point, Ty? Does that make sense? Is it because like Rosario Dawson comes with a built-in like existence that she's kind of making Ahsoka Rosario instead of Rosario becoming Ahsoka, or what is it we're watching her?
I think he's absolutely right in this case. I don't think it's always this case. I think there are certain actors that just have the ability to adapt to a character and really tap into it. But with Rosario, he's right. Rosario plays the same person in everything. Like, if you really, really look at her career, I watched DMZ. She's this same person. I watched, like she. This is just who Rosario is. Now, with all of that being said, there's elements that Rosario is going to be able to bring to the character that maybe a young, up and coming, upstart actor may not be able to do. And when you have such an iconic character as Ahsoka, you're not willing to risk that. And if I was a producer and I was the director, I wouldn't be able to, because I know that this means so much to the community, and this is going to mean so much to what I'm trying to accomplish, that I'm just going to make sure that this is it. But yeah, Rosario for me thus far she's been a little boring. Like,
yeah. Go ahead, Nali.
I agree, but I also think it sort of fits because remember, she can't be the same Ahsoka from Clone Wars because she's been through so much since Clone Wars. So she was different in Rebels, not by a lot, but her personality definitely changed. And then remember, this is after she finds out that Vader's Anakin and a whole bunch of stuff. So she been through it. I don't know if she got therapy, but she been through it. So maybe this Ahsoka kind of fits. I don't know. But you are right. Now that you mentioned that Rosario Dawson plays the same person in everything, even in Rent, she was singing and having AIDS, and she's still freaking giving the same tone.
525,600 minutes.
There's two projects that I think that Rosario Dawson has stepped outside of that Rosario Dawson from from the MCU, you know what I'm saying, which she played the same in Luke Cage and in Daredevil, and she plays and that's Rosario Dawson in Kids, all right, where she was talking about doing it certain, doing things that she shouldn't have been doing at that age. And the Rosario Dawson from Alex, where she was basically a slave, a sex slave to Alex, and didn't talk, and basically was,
Clerks?
huh?
Isn't she in Clerks?
Oh yeah, I think she did play a small part. She had a small role in Clerks, but same energy though, same energy. You know what I'm saying? A little witty. But either way, I see the comment, Daniel, that this is renowned. This is Ahsoka that is now aware of the she was the main actor. Okay, my bad. I didn't watch Clerks 2. That's the one that was in color, right? I think Clerks 1 was the one in that was in black and white, and then 2 it went in color, and then I think there's supposed to be another one coming out if I'm not mistaken. Or was the first 2 in color? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
the third one I think already came out.
Third one came out already? Okay, I think there was something about doing another one.
Our man AJ Wilkerson was in that.
Oh, AJ was in that? Oh shit, okay. Yeah, Florida representing. Go ahead, homeboy. Comedian guy. So my thing is this. Ahsoka doesn't have to be Snips, but damn, does she have to be as dry as she is? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's literally soaking up, like, between her and Sabine. You know what I'm saying? The most personality I saw in these 3 episodes was from Chopper. You know what I'm saying?
Chopper. Yep.
Chopper was Chopper was. I was so excited to see live action Chopper.
He was only on scene for
talking. Huh?
And I was like, he was only on camera for what, 30 seconds?
Well, he was on there twice. Yeah, he was on there twice.
I mean, but combined time frame, 30 seconds.
Yeah. But they need to give Chopper his respect. Chopper is probably one of the funniest motherfuckers in the entire Clone Rebels series, even though he doesn't speak. After you watch, like, the first season of watching Rebels, you're like, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. But like by season 2 or 3, you can kind of hear what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? A little bit like the syllables and shit. You're like, oh, he just said shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Even though he just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was the best. The best. Yes. So I fucks with him. Even the other droid, I forget the other droid's name.
Huyang?
No, not Huyang. The other one, the one that they made friends. He's like an asshole droid, but he's kind of like
Imperial droid.
The former Imperial dude. But I like that. Let's get into some of what we have seen and what has progressed on Ahsoka, and then let's go into some other things real quick. So we first know that Ahsoka takes place after Rebels, which I think is pretty cool because it's not them recreating Rebels; it's them continuing, and I think that makes for a better series. The big thing that I think that I have an issue with is that she is coming out as a Jedi right now. But Daniel, if I'm not mistaken, hasn't she proclaimed that she's no longer a Jedi? She has left the Jedi Order. Don't get me wrong. I know there's a difference between a Jedi Padawan, Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, all these other things. But I thought that she completely turned her back on the Jedi when they basically tried to make her do some shit she didn't want to do. And she was like, fuck all that. Anyway, that's the only real critique I have, is that she's claiming the word of Jedi. Ty also had a good critique, which was basically that Sabine had already trained to wield the lightsabers. Not just any lightsaber, but probably the one of the heaviest lightsabers out.
Dark saber.
So for her now to be kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to relearn how to do it, even though it is a little bit later, you would feel that that'd be a muscle memory. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I can say is that she's not a force wielder, not a Jedi, but damn, she defended the whole of Mandalore with that dark saber. You know what I'm saying? She didn't keep up with it.
I don't know. Like, is Dave Filoni retconning his own stuff? Like,
well, I think where Daniel is where I kind of was going with Ty, which is that, yeah, well, she was, but she wasn't really like, obviously she's lost, her, the consistency of it, and remember, she also during Rebels was reluctant. Like, she didn't want to have to lead everybody, right? Like, she did it out of force, right? It was because nobody else would do the shit. She didn't want to do it. And as soon as she got a chance, she was like, fuck that. Here you go, Bo-Katan. I don't want this shit. Go ahead.
Yo, I'm gonna do it like this, right? I'm gonna compare the dark saber to the NBA. And then I'll say that if you have a regular lightsaber, you're just playing community ball. What I say that to say is, if I ever step away from the NBA and I go into a community league, but I played in the NBA, I'm gonna bust everybody's ass that's in the community league. So I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, she had the dark saber, because we know all that goes into controlling the dark saber. What you call it? Din Djarin still has not fully wrapped himself around controlling the dark saber. So when I say that, I say that to say, Rebels. I watched all 4 seasons of Rebels, and I watched Sabine go through that process of learning how to wield the dark saber and wield it in combat while flying, while slicing people, while doing. So now all of a sudden, it is okay for her to just totally forget that she used to be a badass with this motherfucker, but I got a whole nother lightsaber that don't require me to use my will. And you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. We can't just get past that, man.
I think, you're not wrong. I can see where they would say, well, yeah, she's a little out of practice. And I could see maybe a couple episodes in them being like, all right, now she's got it back. You know what I'm saying? But you have unveiled an inconsistency with the animated series and the current one, which is that, yeah, she seems to be a complete ignoramus when it comes to the lightsaber now, as opposed to her actually holding the dark saber, which is supposed to be much more difficult.
And why they made the dark saber a token, the one black saber, and there's only one of them? Come on, dog. Even in Star Wars, we only get one. Can we get more? Can we get representation?
But
black swords matter too. Black sabers also matter.
I can hear Tiffy's eyes rolling.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Can we get some more dark sabers? I don't care. Maybe get like a mixed race saber. Maybe like a black and white, like a gray saber that's out here. Please.
I'm pushing back, Kev. I want us to, for one time in the history of anything, let us be special.
Yeah,
let us be special.
Just
be special.
Just the one.
He wants a mulatto lightsaber.
Yeah, please. He's
campaigning for like a mixed race.
Can I get like an Ice Spice Doja Cat lightsaber? I would just like to see maybe like a Jessica Alba lightsaber. It's like, I don't know where to go. I don't know. Maybe I'll go here. Maybe I'll go here. I like seeing it.
This lightsaber goes like, look, we have our own identity and all this other shit.
Don't tell me the lightsabers aren't racist, because they gave Samuel Jackson a great flavor lightsaber. So I already know what time it is.
Well, that's hilarious. Even though
he's closer to the dark side. He uses some parts of the dark side, so that's why he has a little bit of purple. Nah, nigga, it's grape. All right, keep it 100. You got one black Jedi. You gave him a purple lightsaber.
For the record, yes, that was a hilarious joke that Key and Peele stepped into, but it was by Samuel L. Jackson's request that he did get the purple lightsaber. But it is funny that he requested purple.
Yeah, and then they made it canon. They have a whole history behind the Kyber crystal and why it is purple. I'm not ignorant as I'm portrayed on here.
I know. It's
familiar.
I get it. It is funny though, but the thing with, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little thrown off with the Ahsoka Sabine Mandalorian Jedi apprenticeship. It's so non-traditional, like they say in the show. First of all, they didn't look. Daniel, I know you're in the comments. They didn't talk when Ahsoka asked, when Sabine asked Ahsoka, how come everybody doesn't use the Force? She didn't give the answer that I expected, which is the answer that Anakin got from Qui-Gon because of midichlorians and all these other things. All she said was, well, not everybody's as skilled. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's their way of dumbing it down because the midichlorians, that whole storyline was so revered and people hated the fact that they tried to bring it into it. They're like, nah, fuck all that. Anybody could use it. You just have to train for it now. I was like, oh, okay, well, shit. Anybody can use the Force? I thought it was reserved for certain people with certain types of minds. So that was interesting as well. But I digress. I want to see this develop quicker because, Nolly, I'm getting the sense that this is going to end abruptly. They're holding out on two of the main characters. And as they unveil those characters, Nolly, I get the sense that we'll get towards the end of this and then we'll have to wait for season 2 for us to get into the meat and potatoes of this type of season.
So we have to remember that Filoni is writing a movie. So Mandalorian and everything that he's worked on is going to come together to culminate into a movie to end with Thrawn. So we are not going to get, this is not going to be satisfying. We're going to get there. They're going to edge us, and then I'll call you tomorrow.
That's how it's going to be. I hate that so much. And that's not a Star Wars thing. That's just the modern age of television where they make all of these like 7-8 episode series. And let's be honest, 6 of the episodes are trash. And then they get a really good season finale. We're like, oh shit, that was hype. And then we wait 2 years for season 2. And then it's the same repetitive cycle. These shows is mid. A lot of these shows are mid. But we're just invested because we're a part of the lore and the universe. But I'm tired of these culminations ending in an end game level event. There's hype, and it may or may not reach the hype. It's a lot.
I have a tendency to agree with Kev. I think there's a few projects that don't fit that description that y'all would probably disagree with me on. I know I'm in the vast minority when I say that I enjoyed Ms. Marvel and I also enjoyed Moon Knight, and I thought that those two had their own universes that did not depend on the MCU as much. Were they heavy? Were they like top notch series? Maybe not, but they weren't like say WandaVision, which was good still, or like Winter Soldier and Falcon, where it's all depending on MCU characters. And don't get me wrong, I know that Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel are now in the MCU, but it's not like you had to see, all these characters pop up. Even Ms. Marvel didn't really pop up until the very end of the, excuse me, not Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel didn't pop up until the very end. So yeah, there's definitely room to criticize it for that. And we've already said this before, I still blame Disney. And I also think that it makes sense that they're now talking about scrapping some of these shows because of what they call bloating the industry with all there's superhero fatigue is a thing. It's becoming a real thing.
These storylines are all kind of very similar. It's like a lot of the same story over and over. And they're introducing so many new characters. And the worst part of any character in these television shows specifically is their origin story, in my opinion. Their origin story is the least interesting thing about them. Because they have to show that this character is more than just a superhero. They have heart as a human being. They have heart as a person. And like they don't show their expertise. They kind of just show the struggle going up and how they unlocked the heroism inside of them. And that story has been done to death, dog. Like, I've seen that story 10,000 times.
Honestly, that's why I liked Moon Knight. Because it wasn't like any of the others. I mean, we didn't get to know even the main personality. We learned the second most prominent personality first before we actually started learning more about, I believe it's Jake. No, it's not Jake. There's oh shit, man. Well, I'll get back to y'all. Somebody in the comments remind me who the names of others. There's Jake. There's fucking, I forget all their names. But it wasn't traditional. Oh, I grew up. Oh, poor. Oh, I was picked on. It was like, yo, this dude. He's a British dude. He's working, and all of a sudden, what the fuck? I end up somewhere. I done killed some people. I didn't know how did this happen. You know what I'm saying? So I dug that. We're getting away from Ahsoka a little bit. Just to kind of close up on Ahsoka a little bit. I do think that this show is giving me what I want to see. Is a good combination between story, characters, and nostalgia, which is something that Star Wars cannot be dependent on. They got Star Wars. Yeah, look, nostalgia is great, but it is not a script.
Right.
Okay? Like, you can't just throw a bunch of whales in the script and throw a couple of droids in and say, okay, we made everybody happy. So be careful how you tease us with Ezra. Be careful how you tease us with Zeb. Be careful how you tease us with Thrawn, because like if it's done the wrong way, we'll get impatient. You know what I'm saying? We're like, yo, fuck this dude. Yeah, Stephen Grant. My bad. Appreciate that, Lisa. Okay, Lisa, pull up Lisa with Mark and
Mark Spector, Stephen Grant. Yeah, Jake Lockley.
One more, Jake Lockley.
Jake Lockley.
Yeah. So I think that there's promise here. Now here's something I'm confused about, Nali. So are we now going to address the fact that Sabine Wren is not only Mandalorian, but is practically royalty in Mandalorian culture at this point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, she's running away from her responsibility. And so, I mean, I don't know where she fits in this whole struggle aspect, because everything she's doing is voluntary. She just wants to meet Ezra. You know what I mean? She just wants to so how do they address that? How do we go into that?
Man, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too. Anything else that you had on it, bad time, man, before we move on to something else?
I was just going to say to that point, like, as far as like what her significance is, I mean, she has a really that role and that her position of being of royalty and of being in a position to command an army. Like if war comes, Sabine is going to be key, because the New Republic is definitely going to need the help of the Mandalorians, just like they did before. And so I think if this is if we get into that and we go to Mandalore again and we are reintroduced to her mother and her brother and and her father and all of that, if we go through that, cool. If not, cool too. At this point, I just want them to get the choreography together. I told you I don't like those fight scenes were I was like come on, man. Filoni, you bragged about these are gonna be the best lightsaber scenes we've ever seen in the history of all of Star Wars, and we've seen some pretty good ones. You know what I'm saying? And I was thoroughly.
Yeah, it's early. They're gonna save it for the season finale. They're gonna have the best season finale that you ever seen, to make sure people are like, "Oh, this show was amazing." Was it amazing, or was the last episode just really cool?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason to have a lackluster Star Wars lightsaber battle. Like, I mean, and it wasn't even. It was. Ty, when you and I talked, I knew that we both noticed it, because I was like, yo, they could at least sped it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about double time? You know what I'm saying? Like,
just more fluid. Come on, just a little more fluid. I don't want this to feel like WWE and you're whispering in your opponent's ear before you toss them across the rope. That's all I'm saying. Like, let's just make this. Ahsoka looks so much better on other people's shows. Like, I don't want that. Don't do me again. Boba. We don't want another Boba moment, and that's what I'm saying. Don't do that, man. Let her look real good on her own show. Like, don't have her best performances with lightsabers on other people's shows.
Yeah. because I'm gonna keep it real. Like I still, when I think of Ahsoka and the lightsaber, I still think of when she first confronted you know her name, baby girl, the witch, Morgan Elsbeth, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When she first confronted her in the fog and with the trees, and when she sliced the little piece out from the tree and sent the shit over to her, and then the tree fell down, and she had both lightsabers, and she even held it like this and shit. It's like, holy shit! Like, how could you not be ready for that? You know what I mean? And then to see them kind of like doing like fencing practice in this one, it was kind of like, all right, man, you know, let's get it up. I wanted to forego when Sabine was practicing, but when they were actually like fighting, you know what I'm saying? Like the two Jedi, excuse me, the two the
Knights of Ren. Knights of Ren.
I mean, the Knights of Ren into the show.
Yeah,
bro, listen, yeah, it's and one of the dudes, unfortunately, Ray Stevens, I think his name is, he's passed away. He
yes.
you know, he actually one of the main characters. He's in the show, but he's no longer with us. So that definitely it adds to the allure of the show. Unfortunately, you know, condolences to his family. But yeah, man, it's got potential. I like seeing I thought that the depiction of the whales, first of all of the animals are looking right. Everything, the look of the show is perfect.
This is shady with their special effects budgets. They be like, you can have some, I'll give you a penny. You can get $50. And then this little project, a quarter, maybe, if I'm feeling nice.
Well, but Nolly, but in this particular instance, I mean, you could say that everything looks dope, right?
Spot on.
Like,
everything does look spot on.
The Loth cat, I'm gonna upload a picture of the Loth cat right now. Looks exactly like a Loth cat, which makes me excited about the Loth wolves. There's no way we can't see Loth wolves. More than likely, one of them will be Kanan. Yep. They brought in Jason Syndulla. All right. Little Jason Syndulla's in this. I'm sorry. All right, let me shut up, man. This is like a complete Rebels conversation. If you haven't watched Rebels, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be lost with all of this shit. So with that, I'll just digress. I don't want to get too deep into it, but just know that we're excited for Ahsoka. We got big hopes that it doesn't end up being a whack show in the end. Thus far, three episodes in, it's not the worst of all of the Star Wars releases. We definitely have critiques. Mine exist around Ahsoka. And you know, Sabine, you know, not being able to wield the lightsaber, and just you know, a little bit more personality. We need one more person in that show for comedic relief, in my opinion. We don't have that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't have.
We do.
In the Who? Chopper?
It's absolutely Chopper. I promise you. Chopper.
That's not enough.
It will be. I promise you. Once they start really spotlighting Chopper. Listen, if you watch the Rebels show, which you did, Chopper was a huge hit on that show because of his little quirky little things and all of those little, like you said, at some point you started understanding what the story was saying. Yeah. And the way that they have him looking, first of all, he's spot on. And yeah. I said this, Chopper will be the R2D2 of the new era. He'll be what R2D2 is to Star Wars, real Star Wars fans.
Okay, all right. I have a doubt. I have my doubts. I want to agree with that, but the only reason I have my doubts is because I feel like R2D2 is central to Star Wars, whereas Chopper is one area of Star Wars.
Like R2D2 been in every movie,
every single project. You know what I'm saying? Like he was even in Clone Wars and Rebels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Chopper for the new age, perhaps, maybe going forward.
Exactly.
But like R2D2 has literally been on damn near every single Star Wars project, including, if I'm not mistaken, no, I was gonna say Rogue One, but I don't think he was in Rogue One. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess. But either way, I'm looking forward to the show. The show looks like it's gonna be it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. It's definitely something to keep us held over until any additional Star Wars projects. Like, what's the other Star Wars project that's on the rise, Nolly?
Acolyte.
Acolyte. Oh no, it's the Donald Glover and him, Lando Calrissian. There's now talk about Donald and playing a role, which I wonder how that works with the strike. You know, can you be hired as a writer from the union during the strike? Like, that's a whole other subject, so I don't even want to go there. Let's talk about that another time. What you about to say something, Nolly?
No, I don't know how it works either.
Yeah, that's trouble. So moving along, Ahsoka, we will watch your career with great interest. But there's a couple other things before we get into maybe what's going on with One Piece and other stuff